This is the book of Exodus. 400 years after Joseph brought his family to Egypt, the descendants of Israel groan under the cruelest slavery the ancient world has ever seen, and the God who made a covenant with Abraham is about to break his silence. A new Pharaoh rises in Egypt who does not remember Joseph, and he orders every Hebrew baby boy to be thrown into the Nile. But one mother from the tribe of Levi hides her infant son for 3 months and then places him in a waterproof basket among the reeds. Pharaoh's own daughter discovers the basket, opens it, and adopts the child as her son, naming him Moses, meaning drawn from the water. And so the man God will use to destroy Egypt is raised inside its palace. Moses grows to manhood knowing his Hebrew identity. And one day, he sees an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave and kills the man, burying him in the sand. But the next day, 2 Hebrews reveal what he has done, and Moses flees east into the desert of Midian to escape Pharaoh's wrath. In Midian, Moses settles with the priest Jethro, marries his daughter Zipporah, and spends 40 years as a shepherd, until one day on the slopes of Horeb, the mountain of God, he sees a bush that burns without being consumed and hears the voice of God calling his name. God declares his name to Moses, "I am who I am," and commissions him to return to Egypt, confront Pharaoh, and lead Israel out of slavery, promising that he has heard the groaning of his people and has come down to rescue them. Moses returns to Egypt with his brother Aaron, and they stand before Pharaoh delivering God's command, "Let my people go." Pharaoh refuses and immediately doubles the Hebrews' workload, forcing them to gather their own straw while still meeting their full brick quota, and the people turn on Moses in fury. God unleashes the first plague. Aaron strikes the Nile with his staff, and every drop of water in Egypt turns to blood, killing the fish and fouling the land. Pharaoh's magicians mimic the sign, his heart hardens, and he refuses to let Israel go. The plagues multiply. Frogs swarm every home in Egypt. Then lice rise from the dust. Then swarms of flies fill the palace while Goshen remains untouched. Each plague targets a god of Egypt, proving that the Lord alone is sovereign over creation. The 5th plague strikes Egypt's livestock dead in the fields while Hebrew animals survive unharmed. Then festering boils break out on every Egyptian. Then a storm of hail mixed with fire destroys Egypt's crops and shatters every tree, while the land of Goshen receives not a single drop. Locusts devour whatever the hail left standing across Egypt, and then God commands Moses to stretch his hand toward heaven. And a darkness so thick it can be felt falls over Egypt for 3 days while every Hebrew home is light. Pharaoh threatens to kill Moses if he appears before him again. God commands each Hebrew family to slaughter a perfect lamb, paint its blood on their doorposts, and eat the meal in haste with sandals on and staff in hand. This night will be called Passover, kept forever as a memorial. At midnight, God moves through Egypt and strikes dead every firstborn, from the firstborn of Pharaoh on his throne to the firstborn of the prisoner in the dungeon, but passes over every door marked with blood. A great wail rises across Egypt, and Pharaoh summons Moses before dawn and commands Israel to leave. 600,000 men, plus women and children and a mixed multitude, march out of Egypt after 430 years, carrying the bones of Joseph as he had commanded, and God leads them by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Pharaoh's grief turns to fury and he sends his entire chariot army, 600 elite chariots, to drag Israel back. Trapped between the sea and the charging Egyptian war machine, Israel cries out in terror. But Moses commands them to stand firm. The Lord will fight for you. Moses stretches his staff over the Red Sea. God drives the water back with a mighty east wind all night, and the sea divides into two towering walls with dry ground between them. Israel walks across on the seabed, and when the Egyptians pursue, God throws their chariot wheels into chaos. Moses stretches his hand again, and the walls of water collapse, burying Pharaoh's entire army. Not one survives. In the wilderness, the people grumble at Mara's bitter water, and God sweetens it with a piece of wood, then rains manna from heaven each morning and quail each evening to feed the multitude. At Rephidim, there is no water, and God commands Moses to strike the rock at Horeb. Water gushes out to save the nation. Israel arrives at Mount Sinai 3 months after leaving Egypt. God descends in fire and thunder and thick cloud, the whole mountain trembling violently, and speaks the 10 Commandments aloud to the entire nation, who stand back in terror at the foot of the mountain. Moses ascends Sinai to receive the full body of law, civil and ceremonial ordinances, then reads the covenant aloud to Israel, who declare we will obey, and seals it by sprinkling sacrificial blood over the people. God then summons Moses higher into the cloud to receive the detailed plans for the tabernacle. While Moses is still on the mountain for 40 days, the people grow restless and demand that Aaron make them a god they can see. Aaron collects their gold earrings and casts a golden calf, declaring this is the God who brought you out of Egypt. God tells Moses and declares he will destroy the entire nation. But Moses intercedes and God relents. Moses descends from Sinai carrying the 2 stone tablets inscribed by God's own finger and finds Israel dancing before the golden calf. In holy fury, he smashes the tablets, grinds the calf to powder, and forces the people to drink it. He calls all who are for the Lord to his side, and the Levites step forward, executing 3,000 men that day as judgment on the rebellion. Moses returns to God and pleads for Israel's forgiveness, offering to be blotted from God's book himself. God reaffirms the covenant, writes new tablets, and sends Moses back. When Moses descends the second time, his face radiates such blinding light from God's presence that the people cannot look at him, and he must wear a veil. Craftsmen led by Bezalel and Oholiab construct the tabernacle exactly as God commanded, using gold, silver, linen, and skins. The people give so generously that Moses commands them to stop. When Moses erects the tabernacle on the first day of the new year and consecrates Aaron as high priest, the glory of the Lord fills it with such overwhelming radiance that even Moses cannot enter, and the cloud rests above it forever, leading Israel forward. Exodus reveals that God is not a distant spectator of human suffering. He sees every chain, he hears every cry, he knows every name, and when the moment is right, he comes down with an outstretched arm and redeems his people at any cost. Every element of Exodus points forward to Jesus. He is the true Passover lamb whose blood marks the doorpost of every believing heart. The greater Moses who delivers his people not from Pharaoh, but from sin and death, and the living tabernacle in whom the fullness of God dwells among us. Whatever Egypt holds you today, whatever Pharaoh has named you, however long you have carried the weight of your chains, the God who split the sea for 2 million slaves hears your cry right now, and he is mighty to save.